Alright guys, hi, Eric here again at Redmans Performance. Welcome back. Here we are on another part here of this 215 Buick build. What we're going to do here is we're going to check the connecting rods and piston alignment. What we're going to be using is the sun and rod aligner. And basically what it is it's a holding fixture with a parting face on it, so we can check to make sure that the rod and piston are square. What that's going to do is that's going to tell us that the piston is going to run square up and down in the bore in relation to the connecting rod. That'll cause us to make sure that we don't have any premature bearing failure, is what it's going to do. So here's how the machine kind of works, and then we'll start going over it, and we'll do a few of them. This is about a 10 or a 15-minute job, maybe at the most. What we have is we have a fixture here, and if you guys can see here, the fixture goes on top of, let's put this back, so the fixture goes on top of the piston, and then that rests on top of there without any hand pressure. It just holds it on there. Then what happens is on the back side here, there's a machine surfaced here. So and then on the machine surfaced, it hits this parting face here. Let's get a little different angle here. This is kind of a heck of a hole right in here for me. So this right here is a machined face right here, which is perfectly 90 degrees of the connecting rod. So what happens is when we lay this up onto here, we look back down through here and we're looking to see if we see any visible light in here, and we know that this piece is setting on top of the piston squarely. That tells us if the connecting rod is bent. If the connecting rod is bent, it's junk. We've already laid them on a faceplate, so they should be right at this point in time, but this is just a check that we need to go through. So now what happens is there's an arm here on the machine. Hopefully you guys can see this. We'll lift this up, and then it pinches the rod. Let's see if I can get you guys a little better angle. You can see what's happening here. So what happens is you can see here, it lifts this up under spring pressure, and then we pinch the connecting rod, and then now the piston goes into its relaxed state, and we drop this back up on there, and we look good. And we'll do a little bit of a sweep here with it to make sure that we're not picking up any thing in the geometry there of it. So we're done with 2 of them. Now we're done with 3 of them. And this is a pretty fast little deal here. If we had a bent one, you would either throw the rod away, and or it's kind of Neanderthal. What Sunnin does is Sunnin gives you a great big bar that's got a taper on it. And you stick that taper in there and you hold the rod and you literally twist the rod. I prefer not to do that. We prefer just to throw the rod away and start over. So before we get to this point, we put them on a faceplate and we check them to make sure that they're square. That way we do not take a chance of ruining or junking a piston. Some of these pistons, the only way that you can buy them is in sets. Like this particular unit, they're kind of a bear to get, so we have to get them through a specialty place. It's not through a normal supplier because it's a vintage engine at this point in time. So that's the end of how we check and align rods there. So what we've done now is on this 215 build, we've pin fitted, or we've installed the connecting rods on the piston. We've mic'd the crankshaft and checked the stroke on it to see where we were at. And now we've checked the connecting rods and pistons for alignment. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install the piston rings on them, on the pistons that is. And then after we do that, we'll be ready to clean the bores and install the cam bearings and the freeze plugs. So when we clean the bores, the cam bearings and the freeze plugs are all kind of done in a one-part scenario for myself. We'll galley brush all of everything, and then we'll go from there. So if this is interesting to you guys, stay tuned for the next part of the video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Eric at Redmans Performance.